To act as if you are the best is not arrogance. It is the recognition of who you truly are beneath the layers of conditioning, doubt, and limitation. It is not pretending. It is not make-believe. It is the bold acceptance of the divine imagination in motion. What you accept as true about yourself is shaping the entire structure of your experience. When you walk into a room and assume that you are the best, not in comparison to others, but as the highest expression of your own potential, you summon the power that responds only to belief. You are not waiting to become, you are assuming you already are. The world is a mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you the arrangement of your inner world. If you carry yourself as though you are uncertain, the world will offer you endless reasons to doubt. If you carry yourself as the embodiment of excellence, the world will shape itself to prove you right. There is no outer validation required to begin. You do not need applause to know your worth. You do not require success to feel accomplished. You only need to assume the position in imagination, and the unseen will begin to mold itself into form. All things are states of consciousness. Being the best is a state, not a title or trophy, but a feeling, a vibration, a conviction that you carry without effort. It is the quiet confidence in your step, the clarity in your speech, the certainty in your mind. The law is always unfolding from within. If you believe you are average, you will express the ordinary. If you believe you are the best, you will express the exceptional. Allah cannot be fooled, but it responds without bias to what you persist in assuming. There is no deception in imagination, only the reflection of your inner allegiance. To act as the best, you must first feel as the best. Before there is evidence, before the recognition, before the manifestation, there must be a change in the state of being. This change is not forced, it is accepted. You do not struggle into it. You relax into it. The feeling of I am precedes all form. Say to yourself, I am the best, and do not look for proof. Feel it, live from it. Let your inner speech reflect it. Let your reactions align with it. Walk through your world not hoping to become, but knowing you already are. No one else needs to see it. This is not for show. This is not about superiority over others. It is about fidelity to the truth that you are made in the image of the creative power. There is no second class within you, unless you accept it. Your mind is the workshop of the infinite. What you think, feel, and imagine in persistent tones becomes the fact of your reality. Acting as if you are the best means moving in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. You are not trying to get it. You are expressing from it. When you shift your identity, the world must correspond. It does not argue, it does not resist, it simply mirrors. The outer is always late, the inner is always first. And when you dare to walk, speak, breathe, and think as the one who already holds the vision fulfilled, then all the bridges will be laid before you and everything necessary will move, often invisibly, to support your new assumption. Not because you hoped, not because you begged, but because you believe. You are not becoming, you are revealing. The best version of you is already present in consciousness, waiting for your attention and your permission. The only thing between you and that reality is your refusal to assume it now. Do not wait. Do not postpone. Claim it. Live it. Let your days be saturated with the assumption that you are already the one you desire to be. Speak with that energy. Dress with that attitude. Move through the world with that confidence. Let your imagination lead you into the state where being the best is no longer a desire. It is a natural expression of your I am. To assume that you are the best is to understand the power that lies within your own consciousness. Assumption is not about hoping or pretending. It is about claiming a reality in the unseen and walking as though it is already yours. The moment you accept something in your imagination as true, even if the world shows no evidence of it yet, you begin to set the creative power of life into motion. Everything in your external world bends to match the inner world you have accepted. Assumption creates reality not because of force, but because your world cannot help but reflect what you persistently and faithfully feel to be true about yourself. When you wake up in the morning and assume you are the best, without comparison, without ego, without needing to shout it, you are aligning with the divine essence that resides in you. You are no longer reaching for validation, but resting in the quiet, knowing that you already are what you desire to be. In that state, the world begins to respond in ways you could never orchestrate. People show up differently. Opportunities appear, circumstances unfold, not because you are chasing them, but because you are embodying a version of yourself that naturally attracts them. It is the inner assumption that magnetizes the outer world. To believe you are the best does not mean you ignore reality. It means you refuse to give your power away to it. The world as it is now is simply a result of previous assumptions, old beliefs, repeated thoughts, accepted limitations. What is seen is a reflection of what was once believed. But what is imagined now and what is assumed now has the power to shape what will be seen tomorrow. This is the divine law that governs all creation, and you are the one using it, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you deliberately assume the highest for yourself, you are no longer reacting to appearances. You are commanding the unseen to take shape in your favor. Assumption is not wishful thinking. It is not about repeating empty affirmations or forcing positivity. It is the act of dwelling in a state of being before it becomes visible. It requires inner conviction, persistence, and faith in the unseen. You do not assume once and expect fireworks. You assume consistently, until the feeling becomes natural, until the new belief is more real to you than what your senses report. The world responds to that level of belief. It does not argue, it does not reason, it simply reflects. The feeling that I am the best may at first feel unfamiliar. You might encounter resistance, voices of doubt, memories of past failures, but none of that matters unless you choose to believe it. Assumption is not concerned with facts. It is concerned with truth. And the truth is, you are not defined by the past. You are not limited by current circumstances. You are only bound by what you accept. If you continue to assume the same old things, you will live the same old life. But if you dare to assume differently, boldly, joyfully, faithfully, then your life must respond with difference. It is law. There is no power outside of your assumption. Everything you experience is rooted in your concept of self. If you see yourself as inadequate, unworthy, or average, the world will confirm those ideas again and again. But the moment you shift your assumption and say, I am the best, and you live from that awareness, not in arrogance, but in calm confidence, you begin to move differently. You make decisions differently. You speak with certainty, you carry yourself with energy, and slowly, subtly, the world mirrors back the new state. It is never the world that changes first. It is always the assumption. You must understand that assumption operates through feeling. You can speak words all day, but if they are not backed by inner conviction, they will be hollow. Feeling is the creative force behind the word. When you assume you are the best, you must feel the ease of being it, not the pressure to prove it, but the peace of knowing it. You are not competing with others. You are not waiting for someone to tell you that you have arrived. You are walking in the fullness of your imagined self and allowing that state to express itself effortlessly through you. Imagination is the womb of reality, and assumption is the seed you plant. Every time you return to the feeling of being the best, you are watering that seed. And if you persist, despite what the world shows, despite what the senses report, you will eventually see the harvest. It is not magic, it is law. What you accept inwardly must be born outwardly. The delay is only in your belief, your doubt, your tendency to check for results. But the moment you accept fully and walk away in faith, you have done the work. The world must now catch up. There is no need to strain, no need to beg, no need to hustle for recognition. You simply move as the one who knows, the one who is certain, the one who has assumed the role before it was visible, and from that certainty, the world bends. That's why assumption is so powerful, because it doesn't require anything external to begin. It asks only for inner agreement. Do you agree to see yourself differently? Do you agree to live from a higher place within? Do you agree to assume the best and embody it, even when there's no sign? If so, then your transformation is inevitable, because you are working with the eternal law of consciousness, and consciousness creates all. It all begins with a feeling. Before the world rearranges itself, before circumstances change, before anyone notices a shift, there is a quiet stirring within. That feeling is the root of all creation. You are not trying to get something to happen out there. You are moving inward, aligning your internal state with the reality you wish to express. When you feel yourself to be the best, even when nothing around you supports that idea, you have tapped into the secret place of power. That feeling becomes your anchor. It becomes your compass. It becomes your atmosphere. There is nothing more important than the feeling you carry. It is the creative essence that shapes your life experience. You do not create by force or by effort, you create by vibration, by occupying the inner emotional space of your desire already fulfilled. That means when you act as if you are the best, it's not about acting in a performative way. It's about cultivating the quiet, steady, unwavering feeling of already being it. You're not looking for evidence to feel it. You feel it first, and the evidence comes later. Always later. Feeling is the cause, form is the effect. Most people live in reverse. They wait to feel successful until the world tells them they are. They wait to feel worthy until someone else validates their value. They wait to feel confident until they're given permission to shine. But the law of creation works the other way. You must feel the reality within before it ever becomes a visible fact. You must rehearse the state internally until it feels natural. Only then will it begin to move into expression. That's why the feeling is the secret. It is not optional. It is not extra. It is the doorway through which all manifestation must pass. When you begin to feel that you are the best, you are no longer questioning, doubting, or hesitating. There is a natural stillness in your spirit, a calm authority. You're not trying to prove anything. You're simply living from a new truth. And in that feeling, your imagination becomes alive. Your inner conversations change. The energy in your body shifts. Even the way you perceive time and space softens, because you are no longer trying to escape the moment. You are now fully immersed in the reality of who you have become. The feeling leads you. It moves ahead of you. It draws all things into harmony with itself. The mind may rebel at first. It may say, you can't feel that. You haven't done anything yet. But this is not about facts. This is about truth. And the only truth that matters is what you accept within. You are always allowed to feel the state you desire. It is your divine right. And once you stop waiting for permission and begin feeling as though it's already yours, you step into the creative flow that makes all things possible. It's not about effort. It's about alignment. When the inner world matches your desire, the outer must follow, because they are not separate. They are one continuous stream of expression. To feel as if you are the best does not mean comparing yourself to others. It means embodying your unique expression of excellence. It means standing tall in your own authenticity. It means recognizing that you were never meant to be average, to blend in, to shrink. You were made to express the fullness of the divine through your own being. And that begins with feeling it. Feeling is not something that needs to be forced. It only needs to be chosen. Again and again, in every moment where the old state tries to return, you simply choose again. Choose to feel as if it's already done. Choose to feel as if you've already arrived. Choose to feel as if the victory is behind you, and now you are simply walking it out. This internal atmosphere becomes your magnet. It draws people, ideas, resources, and circumstances that align with the state you are radiating, not because you are chasing them, but because you are resonating with them. Everything is vibration, and the strongest vibration always wins. If you are vibrating at the level of doubt, insecurity, and lack, no matter how much you say you want more, you are repelling it. But if you are vibrating in the frequency of worthiness, confidence, and ease, the world must bring you what matches that signal. Feeling is not a weak or passive thing. It is the most powerful creative force you possess. You do not need to wait for the right moment to feel it. The moment you decide is the right moment. You could be sitting in a room with nothing but silence around you, and still activate the feeling of being the best. It does not require an audience. It does not require applause. It only requires willingness. The willingness to let go of the need for proof and step into the realm of knowing. When you know something, you don't chase it. You don't plead for it. You don't doubt it. You live from it. And the more you return to that knowing, the more it stabilizes into your nervous system, your energy field, your daily choices. It becomes who you are. You are not trying to become the best. You are remembering that you already are. Feeling is the bridge between who you think you are and who you truly are. When you allow the feeling to dominate, everything else begins to change. The way people respond to you shifts. The way opportunities appear shifts. Even the way time seems to stretch or compress shifts. Because you are no longer operating from the density of limitation. You are now living from the lightness of truth. The truth that you are not waiting for life, you're shaping it. You are not hoping for favor, you are living as one already favored. To feel that you are the best is to rest in the satisfaction of being chosen by yourself. You choose you. You approve of you. You honor you. And that feeling creates a field of certainty around you. It moves through your voice. It shows in your posture. It glows in your presence. Not as ego, but as essence. You become magnetic, not because you are trying, but because you are being. That's the difference. You are not reaching outward. You are radiating from within. And what you feel within is the key to everything that unfolds without. The feeling is the cause. The world is the echo. Let your feeling declare it now. You are already the best. You always were. The world you see is not fixed, not final, not independent of you. It is fluid, responsive, and obedient to the assumptions you hold about yourself. It reflects not your hopes or your words alone, but the deep and often silent beliefs you carry within. When you begin to act as if you are the best, not in arrogance, but in divine remembrance of your power, the world must mirror that identity. It cannot help but yield to the vibration you broadcast. Life has no choice but to conform to the image you consistently hold in consciousness. Because life itself is animated by your state of being. Your entire experience is shaped by what you believe you are. If you see yourself as invisible, life will ignore you. If you see yourself as second best, you will always watch others rise before you. If you see yourself as someone trying to become, then becoming will forever stay just out of reach. But when you shift that inner narrative and begin to dwell in the state of, I am the best, something profound begins to happen. You walk differently, think differently, speak differently. And this difference is not unnoticed by the world. It reacts to you as though something has changed, because something has. Every person you meet, every opportunity that crosses your path, every challenge that arises is colored by the consciousness you bring to it. You do not encounter a neutral world. You encounter a world filtered through your own assumptions. And if your assumption is rooted in worthiness, excellence, capability, and confidence, then everything begins to echo that frequency. People speak to you with more respect. Doors open seemingly without effort. Synchronicities increase. What felt like resistance in the past starts to dissolve. This is not coincidence. This is the outpicturing of the new state you've chosen to embody. When you act from the state of being the best, you no longer react to life, you create from it. You stop looking for proof and start moving in purpose. You do not shrink in the presence of others. Instead, you shine without apology. You stop negotiating with doubt and begin living with clarity. The world is always watching, not with eyes, but with vibration. It responds not to what you say, but to who you are being. You can speak humble words, but if your energy is regal, the world will treat you accordingly. You can say nothing at all, and still your presence can change a room, because you are radiating from a deeper truth. This is the mystery most overlook. The world reflects your inner atmosphere. It does not argue, it does not debate, it simply conforms. And if you change your inner weather, the landscape of your life will change to match. If you want to see new results, you must operate from a new place. You cannot bring the old self into a new reality and expect anything to stay different. You must become the one who belongs in the world you desire. You must dwell in that state until the world can no longer ignore your vibration. It will bend, it must, because you are the operant power. This reflection principle works in all things. In relationships, if you carry the belief that you are unworthy, you will attract those who treat you as such. If you believe you are deeply lovable and magnetic, people will respond to that even if they cannot explain why. In career or business, if you assume you are small, the world will keep you hidden. If you assume you are the best, without resistance, without needing to shout it, opportunities will arise that honor that assumption. This is not magic, it is law. You are always being reflected back to yourself. Many seek to change the world without changing their self-concept. They try to shift the mirror without changing the face that looks into it. But the mirror is not autonomous. It is loyal to you. If you wish to see a new image, you must become that image internally. You must become the best in your own awareness. Not someday, now. Not when others agree, now. Not when you've earned it in outer terms, now. The assumption alone is what shifts the reflection. When the state changes, the facts must follow. There is no exception to this rule. This means your job is not to fix the world, argue with it, or convince it of your value. Your only job is to inhabit the feeling that you already are everything you seek to be. From that place, your actions become inspired, your speech becomes intentional, your presence becomes magnetic. There is no longer any contradiction between your inner world and the outer one. They are aligned, and in that alignment, manifestation flows. You must guard your inner state with care. Do not let the opinions of others, the echoes of the past, or the illusions of current conditions shake you from your assumption. The world may try to tempt you back into old beliefs. It may show you the same problems, but remember, it is only showing you what you have previously accepted, and now you are choosing something different. Do not be discouraged by delayed reflections. Hold your state, stand in it, live from it. The reflection must shift. The world cannot deny the one who knows who they are. It may try for a moment, but it cannot sustain the illusion in the presence of persistent assumption. The one who acts from the feeling of already being the best commands their environment, not through force, but through presence. They radiate certainty, they exude clarity, and life, sensing this change in vibration, reconfigures itself to match. It does not matter what the facts say. Facts are only frozen states of consciousness. When the state changes, the facts will rearrange. This is how mountains move, not by pushing, not by striving, but by assuming, and then walking from that place as if it is already true. That is what acting as the best truly means. It is not about showing off, it is about showing up. Fully aligned, fully convinced, fully committed to the reality you have chosen to embody. The world cannot help but reflect that. It has no will of its own. It is your mirror, and it is waiting for you to decide what image it should reflect. You are not here to become someone else. You are here to remember who you truly are. There is nothing outside of you that you need to chase in order to be great. The idea of striving to become is rooted in a belief that you are not already enough. But in truth, the best version of you is not somewhere in the future. It already exists now in your imagination, fully formed, fully complete, waiting for your recognition. When you stop searching and start revealing, the game changes entirely. You begin to live from a place of power, not effort, from knowing, not striving, from presence, not pursuit. Everything you desire to be already exists in a higher dimension of your consciousness. That version of you that feels confident, radiant, powerful, and wise, that version is not something you need to create. It is something you need to allow. The moment you realize this, you stop trying to build yourself and start uncovering yourself. You stop looking for external transformation and begin surrendering to internal revelation. It is not about adding more. It is about removing what is not you. Doubt is not you. Fear is not you. The voice that says you are not good enough, not ready, not chosen, that voice is not the truth of you. That voice is the result of past assumptions, false identifications, and mental habits. But who you really are, the best version of you, has never been touched by any of it. You are not broken. You are not lacking. You are not unqualified. You have simply forgotten. You have believed the reflections of a world shaped by old thoughts, and because you believed it, it seemed real. But the outer world is nothing but a delayed echo of past self-concepts. When you stop investing belief in the old version of yourself and begin aligning with the truth of your higher state, the illusion begins to fade. You begin to move from power instead of pain. You begin to walk in a calm certainty, not because the world has changed, but because your awareness has. You are not required to work hard to become what you already are. The struggle is only necessary when you resist your natural state, when you fight against your own worth. But the moment you accept, truly accept, that the best is already within, the tension dissolves. There is a sense of ease. You no longer operate from need or insecurity. You operate from fullness. And in that fullness, your actions become inspired. Your decisions become clear. You stop reacting and start responding. You begin to live not as someone trying to get somewhere, but as someone who is already there, expressing that truth moment by moment. Revealing the best version of yourself means trusting your imagination more than your senses. It means living from the unseen rather than the seen. The world may still show the old patterns for a while, but that does not matter. You are not looking to the world for confirmation. You are living from the inner conviction that you have already become. This is the key to transformation. Not to act like you are something you are not, but to act from the truth that you are. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. One is rooted in pretending, the other is rooted in being. And being is always now. You do not need more time. You do not need more validation. You do not need more steps. You simply need to dwell in the feeling of the one you already are. And the feeling is everything. It is not a thought. It is not a hope. It is a living, breathing state that saturates your being. You begin to carry yourself differently. You speak from a deeper place. You walk into rooms without shrinking. You make choices from trust, not fear. You stop explaining yourself. You stop proving yourself. Because when you know who you are, you no longer require agreement. The process of revealing is quiet. It happens in the unseen spaces of your mind and heart. No one else needs to know what you are doing. No one else needs to see the shift for it to be real. It is real because you feel it. It is real because you accept it. And once you do, the world begins to conform. That is the law. There is no outer power controlling your life. You are the cause. You are the center. And once you align with the highest image of yourself, the rest must follow. Your world will begin to shape itself to fit the new self you have claimed. This is not about acting superior or pretending to be something you're not. It's about surrendering to the part of you that never stopped being whole. It's about letting go of the masks, the fears, the defenses, and letting your true self come forward. The self that is calm, sure, radiant, unstoppable. The self that does not doubt because it knows. And when you live from that self, everything changes. Not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped fighting your own greatness. The best version of you doesn't need to be constructed, it needs to be uncovered. And the more you return to that truth, through feeling, imagination, and self-remembrance, the more natural it becomes, until one day you realize you're no longer trying to become anything. You're simply being, and being in its purest form is the ultimate power. It is where all transformation begins, not with striving, but with remembering, not with force, but with awareness. Not with effort, but with surrender to the truth that everything you seek to become is already who you are. To live from the end is to no longer wait, to no longer wish, to no longer try. It is to stand mentally and emotionally in the place where your desire is already fulfilled, and from that place think, speak, move, and feel. It is to bypass appearances, to disregard conditions, to step out of the sensory evidence of the present, and into the unseen certainty of the fulfilled state. Living from the end is not something you do once and forget. It is a daily practice of consciousness, a sustained inner conviction that what you have imagined is already yours and must now unfold in perfect order. When you live from the end, you are no longer looking for proof. You are not waiting for signs, not testing to see if it's working. You have already received, not with your hands, but with your inner acceptance. You live in the knowing that the thing desired is complete in consciousness, and therefore it must become complete in form. The outer world is not cause, it is effect. And if you hold to the inner cause long enough, without contradiction, without falling back into doubt, the outer effect will appear with certainty. The law is exact and unfailing. This principle is simple but profound. You must mentally inhabit the reality you wish to experience until it becomes your natural state. This means feeling now what you would feel then, thinking now how you would think then, speaking now how you would speak then, not in pretense but in presence. You must not wait for the world to tell you it is done. You must be the one who already knows it is done. That shift is where creation begins to take shape. You are not reacting to the world anymore, you are causing it from within. To live from the end requires discipline of attention. The mind wants to wander, to return to the old self, to look at current circumstances and say, but nothing has changed. But you must persist in the assumption, you must remain faithful to the unseen. Imagination must become more real to you than facts. You are not concerned with how it will happen. You are not interested in when. You simply move through your days with the inner tone of certainty, as if what you desire is already so. That certainty becomes the vibration that draws all elements into place. Living from the end is not passivity. It is not sitting back and waiting. It is participation with your future self. You are merging with the version of you that already has what you want. From that state, your thoughts become aligned. Your words carry power. Your body language shifts. You begin to make choices that naturally belong to someone who already is what they once desired to be. You are not forcing action. You are responding to the inner reality that already feels complete. That is the true meaning of inspired action. It arises naturally from the fulfilled state. There is nothing outside of you that determines your outcome. The only thing that matters is where you dwell internally. If you keep living from the place of waiting, hoping, and striving, your life will reflect that perpetual distance. But when you step into the end, when you claim it as now, the delay begins to collapse. Reality starts to bend. The world reconfigures itself, sometimes invisibly, to match your new frequency. Not because you begged, not because you worked harder, but because you finally aligned with the truth that your desire is already yours in the unseen. This principle has no exceptions. It applies to all things: health, wealth, love, freedom, success. Everything begins within. You must first be in order to see. You must walk through your world as if the change has already occurred. You do not need to fake it. You do not need to convince others. You only need to convince yourself. And that conviction comes through repetition, imagination, and feeling. When the new state becomes familiar, when it feels like home, the outer world must reflect it, like a mirror reflects your face. You cannot fool this law. You cannot hold two opposing states and expect clarity. You cannot say you believe and still dwell in doubt. You cannot declare it is done and still react with fear. You must live in one state fully, and the only state that leads to fulfillment is the state of the end. Not the journey toward it, not the waiting room outside of it, but the place where it already is. That is the doorway through which all transformation flows. Your job is not to figure it out. Your job is to remain faithful to the vision and to carry yourself as one who has already arrived. Living from the end is a sacred posture of trust. It is an inner knowing that the unseen is more real than the seen. You no longer need the senses to agree. You no longer check constantly for evidence. You have made your decision, and now you are letting the world rise to meet it. This kind of faith is not blind. It is creative. It builds the bridge of incidents that move you from where you are to where you feel you already are. The feeling is the key, and when the feeling becomes dominant, when it saturates your imagination and settles into your body, the outer world must obey. There is no need to manipulate the external. There is no benefit in trying to speed things up. You do not plant a seed and dig it up every day to see if it is growing. You plant it, water it, and trust the unseen process. So too with your assumptions. Once you accept them as done, you do not need to monitor them. You live from the peace of already having received, and in that peace you become magnetic. The world moves for the one who does not waver. The doors open for the one who already walks as if they belong inside. To live from the end is the ultimate act of self-honoring. It says, I am worthy now, I am ready now, I am it now. And when you declare that with your entire being, not just with words, but with presence, the universe responds. You are not creating something new. You are selecting from the infinite. And what you select in imagination, what you accept as yours, must eventually harden into fact. You do not need to force it. You only need to remain there. Remain in the feeling, remain in the state, remain in the end. Let that be your home, and the world will build itself around it. Everything you seek is already yours, but it is not found by striving or begging. It is revealed through the stillness of belief. The universe is not some distant force that must be persuaded or chased. It is an extension of your own consciousness, responding not to your words, but to the feeling you dwell in. When you truly trust the universe, you are not waiting for a miracle. You are becoming it. To trust the universe is to release the desperate effort of the senses and surrender to the unseen. It is to know that every moment, every person, every experience is rising out of the state you occupy. The world mirrors not your wants, but your assumptions. Do not look out there and wait for peace to arrive. Assume peace within, and the world must conform. Finding Zen is not about emptying yourself. It is about recognizing that all fullness is already within you. You are not here to fix the outer world. You are here to awaken to the truth that the outer is the projection of the inner. Still your mind, not by force, but by faith. Let your awareness sink into the silence where all creation begins. You do not need to control anything. You need only to accept that consciousness is the only reality. What you believe deeply, what you feel to be true, will harden into fact. The path is not linear. It is not made with steps. It unfolds the moment you dwell in the end. So if you desire love, dwell in the state of being loved. If you desire abundance, live in the knowing that you already possess it. You are not becoming. You are remembering. There is no effort in this, only acceptance. Only the quiet courage to assume your wish fulfilled, even when everything around you screams otherwise. Trusting the universe is not a passive act. It is the most profound creative stance. You do not wait to see. You feel it real. And the universe, bound by law, reveals it. Let the noise of the world fall away. Let the questions cease. Dwell in the end. Feel the joy now. Let the feeling be the evidence. You don't need signs, you don't need proof, you are the proof. All that is required is the decision to remain faithful to your unseen reality, no matter what appearances say. Because appearances are shadows of a former belief, and the moment you change your state, the shadow begins to shift. The Zen you seek is not found through searching. It appears the moment you rest in the knowing that you already are. When you stop chasing and begin assuming, when you feel it is done and live from that feeling, then all things align. The universe does not delay. It responds, always, instantly. Fate is the key. The assumption is the act. The feeling is the path. The world follows. What you experience in the outer world is never random. It is not the result of luck or chance or external favor. It is the exact reflection of the state of consciousness you inhabit. The universe does not respond to the things you say you want, nor does it react to the effort you put forth to get them. It responds only to your inner state, the assumptions you accept as true, the beliefs you dwell in, and most of all, the feeling that dominates your inner atmosphere. There is a great misunderstanding in the world, and that is the belief that if we work hard enough, strive forcefully enough, or beg sincerely enough, we will earn the things we desire. But the truth is, desire alone is powerless without assumption. You can desire love, yet if you dwell in the feeling of being unloved, your world will confirm that. You can want abundance, but if you continue to feel lack, to react from scarcity, to think in terms of not enough, then lack must be your portion. Not because the universe is withholding from you, but because it can only reflect what you are conscious of being. You're always broadcasting a signal, not in your words, not even in your surface thoughts, but in your feeling tone, the vibration of your inner state. And life, like a mirror, cannot help but reflect it back to you. You may speak affirmations daily, you may visualize a better life, but unless your dominant feeling changes, nothing will shift. It is not about convincing the world, it is about embodying the truth you want to live in. That is why it is said, "To him that hath more shall be given." This is not a law of cruelty, but of consciousness. The one who feels he has, who assumes possession, love, health, peace, sees more of it. The one who feels he lacks will by law experience more lack. This law does not fail. It does not discriminate. It simply reflects what is impressed upon it. You are not required to change the world. You are not even required to change others. You are only required to change the state you occupy. If you see someone treating you with indifference or disrespect, and you react from that place, you continue to affirm the state of being mistreated. But if you can rise inwardly and assume the feeling of being valued, being seen, being loved, then without needing to correct the outer world, it will adjust to fit your new inner pattern. It is not the world that binds you, it is your inner agreement with limitation that binds you. The moment you cease to identify with it, it begins to dissolve. There is nothing outside of you that has creative power in your life. Others are not your source. Circumstances are not your cause. You are the operant power. The universe mirrors not what you ask, but what you are. Imagine for a moment you are an actor in a play. You are given a role, and you perform it convincingly. But what if you decide you no longer wish to play that role? You simply step into a new one, and in doing so, your lines change, your relationships change, your entire world on the stage adjusts to accommodate your new character. Life works the same way. When you step into a new inner identity, not temporarily, not half-heartedly, but with conviction, everything must shift to reflect the new self you have assumed. But many live backwards. They wait for the outer world to give them permission to feel better, to feel secure, to feel worthy. They want to see the money before they feel prosperous. They want the relationship before they feel loved. They want the healing before they feel whole. But this is like looking into a mirror and waiting for the reflection to smile first. It is an inversion of the truth. The mirror can only reflect what is already happening within. If you do not like what your life is showing you, do not fight the world. Do not try to rearrange shadows. Instead, ask yourself, what must I be believing to experience this? What must I be feeling on a deep level that continues to draw this into my experience? The answer is always within, and when you locate the assumption, the belief, the story, you are free to change it. You are free to move into a new state. This movement is not external, it is internal, and it begins with imagination. Imagination is not fantasy, it is the doorway to creation. When you imagine yourself differently and feel the reality of that new version of yourself, you begin to inhabit that state. And once you dwell in it long enough, once you claim it as your own, it must express itself in the outer world. So let go of chasing results. Let go of the desperation to make something happen. Instead, become deeply still and ask yourself, what do I want to feel? What would I be feeling now if my desire were already fulfilled? And then allow yourself to rest in that feeling, not just as a temporary escape, but as your home, as your identity. Because the truth is, you are never waiting for the universe is waiting for you to claim what is already yours in consciousness. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the outer world has no choice. It must conform. It always has. It always will. And so you return to the simplest truth. The world is a mirror. It reflects not your words, not your effort, not your struggle, but your inner state. The feeling you live in, the assumptions you embody. Change the state, and the reflection changes. Trust this, live this, and watch the world respond. To live in the end is to occupy the feeling of your desire already fulfilled. It is not a technique to get something, it is a state of being, a profound shift in consciousness where you no longer seek, but rest in the knowing that it is done. This is the creative act. This is the secret of manifestation. You do not wait for the evidence to appear before you claim the reality. You claim the reality, and the evidence must appear. Most people live their lives as victims of their senses. They are ruled by what they see, what they hear, what they touch. They say, I will believe it when I see it, but in truth, they will only see it when they believe it. This is not philosophy. This is law. Everything you call reality now was once an unseen assumption, held so consistently that it had no choice but to manifest. When you live in the end, you are not trying to create something new. You are stepping into the version of yourself where that desire is already realized. You do not try to get rich. You feel yourself already abundant. You do not beg for love. You become the one who is already deeply loved. The state must be assumed first, internally. The outer world always follows. It may appear that your wish is far away. It may seem impossible. But that is only the voice of the current state you occupy. Every state has its own logic, its own reasoning, its own emotional tone. If you are in a state of lack, every thought will reinforce that lack. But if you dare to shift, to mentally and emotionally move into the end result, you leave behind the logic of limitation. You begin to think from a different place. You begin to feel from a different place. And that inner change is what transforms the outer world. Living in the end is not pretending. It is not acting. It is not daydreaming without conviction. It is the deliberate and faithful assumption that what you desire is already true. This is not fantasy. This is reality, because reality is shaped by your consciousness. And what you are conscious of being, you express. You are not bound by time. The future is not ahead of you. It is within you. And the moment you choose to feel the wish fulfilled, you collapse time. You bring that future into your now. The senses may deny it. Circumstances may contradict it. But if you remain faithful to that end, if you return to the feeling again and again, the bridge of events will unfold. People will be moved. Situations will be rearranged. The world will conspire to mirror your inner world. You do not have to figure out how. That is not your concern. The how belongs to the intelligence that governs all things. Your only task is to remain in the end, to dwell in the state where your desire is already real. And if you do, the means will come. They will seem natural, inevitable. But they are born from your assumption, not the other way around. Many abandon their desires because they cannot see the path, but that is the error. The path is not revealed to the one who waits. The path is revealed to the one who moves. And the movement is not external. It is inner. It is a shift in identity, a shift in awareness, a shift in feeling. Suppose you wish to be healed. Do not wait for the diagnosis to change before you feel health. Assume the feeling of vitality now. Walk, think, speak, and rest as one who is already whole. Suppose you long for reconciliation in a relationship. Do not dwell on the pain, the absence, the lack of resolution. Assume the feeling of harmony. Feel the joy of connection. See the other through eyes of love, and live from that place. This is not denial. This is not ignoring reality. This is creating reality. When you live in the end, you are not escaping life. You are shaping it. You are moving beyond reaction into creation. You are no longer waiting. You are being. It requires discipline, not force. Repetition, not struggle. When the old state rises, the doubts, the fears, the contradictions, you do not fight them. You gently return. You remember who you are. You remember what you've claimed. You feel it again. And in that return, you strengthen the new state. You deepen the assumption. And it begins to feel natural. Eventually, you will no longer need to affirm it constantly. The state will become your dwelling place. It will feel familiar, comfortable, like home. And from that place, you will act naturally. You will speak as one who already has. You will make choices that align with the fulfilled version of you. You will radiate the reality you have assumed, and the world will echo back your certainty. There is nothing to wait for. Everything exists now. All states are present. You do not create them, you select them. And selection happens through feeling. If you want a different life, enter a different state, not by wishing, not by forcing, but by assuming, by feeling the end and letting it saturate your inner world. This is the way. You are not hoping, you are not asking, you are not trying, you are living it. And because you live it inwardly, it must become visible outwardly. This is the unchanging law. Do not look to the world for signs. You are the sign. Your inner shift is the evidence that change is on the way. Feel it real. Dwell in the end. And the universe in its perfect obedience will reflect what you have dared to assume as true. There is no power outside of your own consciousness. The world, with all its events, people, circumstances, and appearances, is but a mirror reflecting the contents of your inner state. If you truly understood this, you would never again seek power outside yourself, nor blame any outer condition for your inner unrest, for everything begins and ends in consciousness. It is not the thing itself that has power, it is your awareness of being that gives it life, form, and meaning. When you accept the truth that all things proceed from your own consciousness, you stop reacting and begin creating. You stop fearing and begin choosing. You realize that your mind is not just a passive receiver of reality, but the very projector that casts the images upon the screen of space. If you feel small, the world confirms it. If you feel empowered, the world responds in kind. Not because the world changes randomly, but because your relationship to it transforms the moment you change your state of consciousness. Consciousness is not separate from what it creates. Your thoughts, your assumptions, your inner conversations, they are not idle. They are alive. They are creative acts. Every moment you are imagining something, and what you imagine with feeling becomes your experience. You may say, but I didn't choose this situation. Yet if you trace the feeling behind it, if you look honestly at what you've been dwelling upon, you will find the seed. The outer world is just the harvest of your inner attention. This is not to place blame. It is to give power. For if you are the cause, then you are never truly a victim. Even in the darkest circumstances, you hold the creative key. You may not have known it. You may have unconsciously repeated a pattern for years. But now, in this moment, you can awaken. You can choose to assume a new state. And once assumed, the world must reflect that state in due season. The outer world is not fixed. It is fluid. It bends to your inner image of self. Change that image, and the world reconfigures to match it. It cannot do otherwise. If you believe you are overlooked, unwanted, unworthy, you will find people and events that echo that belief. If you believe you are loved, valuable, and blessed, that too will be reflected back to you in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. For the law is always working, quietly, faithfully, without judgment. You do not need to manipulate outer conditions to change your life. You only need to occupy a new state of being, and that state is chosen through feeling. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, whatever that may be, you've planted the seed. The outer manifestation is just the echo, the after effect, the shadow. It is the reflection, not the source. This is why rituals, objects, and external affirmations only work when they move your consciousness. If you carry a lucky charm but feel unlucky, the charm has no power. If you chant words but your inner speech contradicts them, the words fall empty. It is not the thing, it is your inner movement that creates. Your world does not change because you hope it will. It changes because you assume a new reality. And that assumption becomes fact. Every time you judge something as being outside your control, you reinforce separation. You say, this person has power over me. This event ruined my peace. This condition keeps me stuck. But nothing outside you has power unless you give it power through attention and belief. Withdraw that attention, remove that belief, and the outer form dissolves. Not always instantly, but inevitably. This is not about denying what you see. It's about understanding what you see. The world does not show you what is true. It shows you what you have accepted as true. There is a great difference. If you accept lack as your reality, the world brings situations of lack. If you accept abundance, the world brings opportunities that match that inner tone. and you don't need to explain how it will happen. That is not your task. Your task is to feel the truth of your desire fulfilled, to saturate yourself in the reality you prefer, and to let the outer world conform. There is no such thing as a permanent condition. Every state is a temporary manifestation of what you've been dwelling on. Shift the dwelling place of your mind, and the condition must fade, change, or evolve to match the new vibration. Consciousness is always moving. It never stands still, and the world simply moves with it like a shadow following the shape that casts it. If you are sick, do not fight the sickness. Assume the feeling of being well. If you are lonely, do not resist the loneliness. Assume the feeling of being connected, loved, embraced. If you are broke, do not dwell on the absence of money. Assume the tone of freedom, security, generosity. You do not ignore facts, you transcend them. You do not argue with appearances, you leave them behind. Many will say, but I tried to change my thinking and nothing happened. That is because they did not persist in the assumption. A brief moment of belief cannot undo years of unconscious fear. But if you persist, if you choose again and again to return to the feeling of your desire fulfilled, it will become your new dwelling place. And once it feels natural, it must appear. The power is not in the words. The power is not in the effort. The power is in the shift of awareness. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a passive observer and begin to take responsibility for what you feel, think, and assume, you awaken to your creative role. And this awakening is not arrogance, it is freedom. For you realize that you are not at the mercy of fate. You are not a puppet in someone else's story. You are the author, you are the dreamer, and what you accept as true becomes your world. When you fully grasp that everything comes from within, you cease to chase outcomes. You no longer look to the world for permission to feel good, to feel worthy, to feel loved. You feel it now. You become it now. And the world, like a faithful servant, reflects your new command. It is not magic. It is not mystery. It is law. Consciousness creates reality. What you are conscious of being, you become. What you dwell upon, you manifest, and what you truly feel yourself to be will shape the conditions of your life. Not by force, not by effort, but by the silent and invisible operation of your own inner world. You are not separate from the universe. You are the very awareness through which the universe takes shape. And when you no longer give your power away to people, places, or things, when you no longer say, they did this to me, but rather, I have assumed this into my world, you rise above circumstance, you stop reacting and begin choosing. You stop pleading and begin claiming. And so the only question becomes, what am I assuming to be true about myself and my world? For that assumption, whether conscious or unconscious, is writing the script of your life. Change it, and your entire reality must rearrange itself to reflect the new story you have dared to believe. Nothing is missing. The world you seek, the peace you desire, the love you long for, and the abundance you crave, all of it is already within you. The outer world, with all its seeming separations and limitations, is merely a reflection of your state of consciousness. There is no delay in manifestation except the delay created by your own divided mind. What you call waiting is not the universe withholding, it is you not fully receiving. The moment you cease looking for completion outside yourself and recognize that everything already is, the illusion of separation dissolves. To feel lack is to assume separation. To seek with desperation is to assume you do not have. But the great secret is this: you are not becoming, you already are. You do not need to strive toward a future version of yourself to be whole. You only need to awaken to the truth that you have always been whole. The more you chase, the more you affirm that the thing you desire is distant, the more you relax into the feeling that it is already yours, the more the world rearranges itself to reflect that inner knowing. Imagination is the gateway. If you can imagine having the thing you desire and feel its reality inwardly, you have it. It exists now, not in some distant future, but in the timeless realm of consciousness. And consciousness is the only reality. The outer is a delayed reflection, but the inner is immediate. Feel now as you would feel if your desire were already fulfilled. That is the creative act. Not effort, not toil, not struggle, but feeling. The world was never designed to fulfill you, it was designed to reflect you. As long as you seek fulfillment in outer objects, people, or achievements, you will chase shadows. But once you recognize that all things flow from within, you reclaim your power. You no longer run after things. You magnetize them by your being. When you embody love, love appears. When you embody abundance, abundance flows. You no longer ask, when will it come? Because you live as though it already has. You must move from wanting to being. Wanting implies absence. Being implies possession. When you say, I want, you are saying, I do not have. And the universe, being a mirror, reflects your lack back to you. But when you say, I am, you declare identity, and identity shapes reality. The law does not respond to words, it responds to vibration. And the highest vibration is the feeling of completion. That deep, calm knowing that nothing is missing, that all is well, that you are the embodiment of your desire. Do not wait for signs to believe. Believe and the signs will follow. Do not wait for proof to feel it real. Feel it real and the proof will appear. Faith is not blind. It is inner certainty that defies the outer evidence. And the moment you rest in that certainty, the world bows to meet you. Your conviction becomes the law by which things unfold. Your assumption becomes the seed from which reality grows. You are not here to beg life for crumbs. You are life. You are the one through whom all things are made. The idea that you must earn, achieve, or suffer to be worthy is a lie born of separation. You are worthy because you are. There is no other requirement. The moment you accept this, you stop striving and start allowing. You stop pleading and start receiving. You stop doubting and start knowing. The secret lies in your inner speech. What are you telling yourself all day long? That you're not ready? That it's too hard? That something must change before you can be happy? These are spells you cast upon yourself. And so you live under their influence until you break them by assuming a new truth. Begin speaking to yourself as the person you wish to be, and the outer world will echo your new identity, not because you forced it, but because you assumed it. Your imagination is the workshop of God. It is the place where all things are made new, but you must live from it, not just think about it. You must walk in the assumption that what you imagine is real. That is the bridge. That is the passage from one state of being to another. The world responds not to what you want, but to what you are conscious of being. So ask yourself, not what do I want, but what am I? Are you abundant or are you lack? Are you love or are you longing? Are you peace or are you anxiety? You will know not by your words, but by your inner feeling. And that feeling, sustained, becomes your experience. The world is faithful. It never betrays your assumption. If you wish to change your world, do not fight the outer conditions. Change your inner state. Assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled and let the outer take care of itself. You are not missing anything. You are only imagining that you are. The illusion of separation is strong, but only because you've been taught to believe in it. You've been taught to look outside, to seek approval, to chase success, to earn love, but all of it is within you. The moment you return to yourself, to the quiet knowing that you already are what you seek, life becomes effortless. The struggle ends. The fear fades. And peace arises, not as something you gained, but as something you always had. This is not passive. It is the most active stance you can take. It is the refusal to be moved by appearances. It is the commitment to live from a higher vision, even when the world gives you every reason to doubt. It is the daily discipline of feeling your wish fulfilled, of speaking only what aligns with your desired state, and of trusting that the unseen is more real than what is seen. It is mastery over your own mind. You do not need to convince the world. You only need to convince yourself. For the world will believe what you believe about you. The universe is not testing you. It is echoing you. And once you accept this, your journey becomes one of remembering, not becoming. You are not evolving into something new. You are awakening to what has always been. And so rest in the feeling that it is done. Act from the place of having, not hoping. Speak as one who already is, not one who is trying to be. Let your inner world become so rich, so real, so vivid, that the outer must bow before it. This is not delusion, it is creation. This is not pretending, it is claiming. For what you assume to be true, and persist in assuming, will harden into fact. There is nothing missing. You are the center from which your world flows. Return to that center, dwell in that center, and the life you once chased will quietly unfold before you, because it was always within you. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the fullness of awareness. When the outer world grows loud and chaotic, when the noise of worry, deadlines, and expectations surrounds you, the greatest power you hold is the ability to become still. This stillness is not passive, nor is it silence born of weakness. It is the womb of creation itself. Everything that manifests in form begins in the invisible, in the silent dimension of consciousness. To be still is to return to that origin, to that sacred space, where all things are conceived. You are not designed to live in constant reaction to the external. That is not power, that is bondage. Reaction is a habit of the unawakened mind, a mind that believes life is happening to it rather than through it. But in stillness, you rise above the compulsion to react and you begin to choose. And in your choosing, you create. Every time you pause instead of panic, breathe instead of break, and return to awareness instead of rushing forward, you step into alignment with the creative source that made all things. The greatest changes do not happen when you're doing more. They happen when you become more. In the stillness, you remember your true nature, not the roles you play, not the fears you entertain, not the stories you've been told. In that still place, there is no fear, no competition, no pressure to prove. There is only presence, and in presence there is power. The power to choose a new thought, the power to imagine a new state, the power to enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled, without needing the outer evidence. You must not wait for the world to calm before you claim peace. That is a lie. The world calms as a result of your peace, not the other way around. All things respond to your state of being. If you carry agitation within, life will give you reasons to be agitated. If you carry calm certainty, life will mirror that back to you. So do not look outward for signs that it's safe to relax. Go inward and relax anyway, and then watch the world respond. Stillness is not emptiness, it is fullness in disguise. In the still moment between one thought and the next, you glimpse the eternal. In the quiet space where you stop seeking, you begin receiving. Not because you earned it, but because you stopped resisting it. All your desires are already created, they are already done, but they can only enter your experience through the gate of allowance. And allowance is born in stillness. To dwell in the noise of the mind is to remain a prisoner of the past. The mind replays, rehearses, analyzes, it loops. But the spirit lives now. In the eternal now, there are no problems to solve, no battles to win, no future to fear. There is only presence. And from presence, all things become possible. This is why stillness is so powerful. It dissolves resistance. And when resistance dissolves, flow returns. Your desires are not delayed. They are denied only by your divided attention. One part of you says yes, the other says no. One part hopes, the other doubts. One part imagines the dream, the other clings to the past. But in stillness, the conflict ceases. You drop the stories. You return to the simplicity of being. And being is the fertile ground from which miracles grow. When you feel overwhelmed, do not do more. Go deeper, go within, sit with yourself. Listen not to the noise of fear, but to the quiet wisdom beneath it. Let your breath anchor you. Let your awareness expand. Let the chatter of the world fade like an old radio playing in the background. You are not that noise. You are not that fear. You are the awareness that observes it all. You are the silence in which it all arises. And from that silence, you begin again. Not by effort, but by assumption. You do not need to fix everything out there. You only need to assume the feeling that it is already done. And you cannot feel that if you're frantically grasping. You feel it by becoming still and resting in the end. You feel it by relaxing your grip and trusting that the universe knows exactly how to deliver what you've already accepted. Stillness is faith in action. It is choosing to believe without evidence. It is walking calmly through the storm because you know the storm is not the truth. It is only a shadow passing across the screen of your awareness. Do not worship the shadow. Do not curse the wind. Simply remain still. Feel the truth within you, the truth that you are safe, that you are held, that all things are unfolding in perfect harmony, not because of what you see, but because of who you are. When you still the mind, the heart begins to speak. And the heart speaks in feelings, not logic. It speaks in knowing, not in fear. It tells you not what is likely, but what is true. The mind may argue, but the heart always knows. And it is in stillness that you hear its whisper. It is in stillness that you reconnect with your original blueprint, the perfect pattern that already includes all your desires. You must learn to trust what arises in stillness more than what shouts at you from the world. The world may say you're behind, you're late, you're lacking, but the still voice says you're exactly where you need to be. The world may demand answers, deadlines, plans, but the still voice reminds you that clarity comes not by force, but by surrender. And in that surrender, you do not become passive, you become powerful. Stillness does not mean the absence of activity. It means the absence of inner conflict. You may move, but you do so with grace. You may act, but you do so with clarity. There is no rush, no pressure, no need to prove, because you are no longer driven by fear. You are led by vision, and vision is born in the quiet places. Take time each day to return to stillness, not to escape the world, but to realign with the truth behind it. Let the world rage if it must. Let others hurry if they choose. You know a deeper rhythm. You move with the beat of your own knowing. And from that place, all things are added unto you, not by demand, but by design. The most powerful moment is the one where you stop chasing, stop doubting, stop resisting, and simply be, not as someone who is trying to create, but as someone who knows it is already done. That is the stillness that changes everything. And in that stillness, you remember you are the center, the source, the creator. You do not need to make it happen. You only need to let it be. What you focus on, you attract. For the world you experience is the reflection of your inner thoughts and beliefs. The mind, in its infinite power, projects an image, and this image becomes the reality you encounter. You must understand that whatever you give your attention to, whatever you dwell upon, becomes your dominant experience. It doesn't matter whether that focus is on your dreams or your fears, the universe responds accordingly. The key to transformation lies in the understanding that your thoughts create your reality. Your mind, like a magnet, draws into your life those things that align with your deepest thoughts. When you focus on abundance, on the success and joy you desire, you invite these into your life. But when your focus is on lack, on scarcity, or on the things you fear, you perpetuate these very conditions. This is not magic. It is the law of the mind, the natural law of attraction, working in accordance with the way you direct your attention. You must ask yourself, what am I focusing on right now? Is it what I want, or is it what I do not want? The energy you emit by focusing on something is the energy that attracts more of it. It is not enough to simply wish for change. You must align your thoughts with the change you wish to see. The power is in your awareness, in your ability to focus on the desired end result, no matter how distant it seems. It is your mental state that shapes your world. The more you focus on your ideal, the more you embody that ideal in your consciousness. The universe has no choice but to match your frequency, to bring what you consistently focus on into manifestation. When you focus on love, peace, and prosperity, these qualities begin to show up in unexpected ways. When you focus on fear, anxiety, or failure, they will appear as though they are inevitable. But you focus on shapes not only your outer world, but your inner world as well. When you dwell on the good, the positive, the fruitful, your mind and heart open to receive more of the same. Your focus becomes your guide, showing you the path that leads you to all that you desire. The power of your attention is your greatest tool. Use it wisely and you will see your world transform in ways you never thought possible. What you focus on shapes your reality in ways that may seem mysterious at first, but once understood, reveals the incredible power of the mind. Everything you experience in the external world, everything that happens to you, is in some way a reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that you hold within you. The reality you encounter is not separate from you. It is the projection of your internal state. This is not an abstract idea, but a fundamental truth that governs the way life unfolds. The law of attraction, as some call it, is not a mystical concept, but a natural law of the mind that operates every moment of your existence. The images you hold in your mind, the emotions you give energy to, and the thoughts you entertain shape the very conditions of your life. When you focus on something, whether it is a goal, a problem, or a fear, you are directing your mind to hold that image, and that image begins to take root in your experience. Your attention is like a magnifying glass, drawing your attention to certain things and making them appear larger and more significant than they might otherwise be. The more you focus on something, the more power you give it to expand in your life. But to pay attention to grows. If you focus on the possibilities, opportunities, and successes in your life, you start to notice them more. They appear in your world with greater frequency and force. However, if your focus is on limitations, fears, or what is lacking, those things too become more pronounced in your experience. The mind is an incredibly powerful tool, and it is not passive. It is actively creating your world in every moment, whether you are aware of it or not. When you consciously focus your attention on a specific outcome or situation, you send out a clear message to the universe about what you want to manifest. This is not a matter of wishful thinking or just daydreaming. It is about directing your energy with intention. Your focus directs the flow of energy in your life and determines what you draw toward you. Every thought, no matter how small, has its consequences in shaping your life. The more you focus on positive thoughts, the more you invite positivity into your life. The mind's ability to create is not limited to conscious thoughts alone. Your subconscious mind also plays a critical role in shaping your reality. Even when you are not actively thinking about something, the beliefs and mental patterns that reside in your subconscious continue to influence the experiences that show up in your life. These beliefs often operate unnoticed, but they are powerful nonetheless. For example, if you carry a belief that you are unworthy of success or love, your focus, even unconsciously, will always be drawn to situations and experiences that reinforce that belief. You might find yourself attracting people or circumstances that reflect that inner belief, whether you desire it or not. It is essential to become aware of the things you are focusing on, even when you do not realize it. Often, people are focused on what they do not want, thinking about problems they wish would go away, or worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. This type of focus only strengthens the very situations they are trying to avoid. If your mind is continually focused on a fear of failure, for example, you are drawing more of those experiences into your life. The energy you give to that fear is creating the very conditions that lead to failure. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy that plays out in your life. This is why it is so important to be conscious of what you focus on, because whatever holds your attention holds your energy. Focus is also a filter through which you see the world. When you choose to focus on beauty, abundance, kindness, and love, these are the qualities that will stand out to you in your environment. Similarly, if you focus on negativity, injustice, or scarcity, those will be the things that dominate your perspective. It is not that the world changes, but your perception of it does. When you shift your focus, the world shifts with you. Your mind begins to seek out opportunities for growth, success, and fulfillment. And these opportunities begin to appear. When you shift your focus from fear and limitation to possibility and hope, your life transforms accordingly. The idea that what you focus on shapes your reality is not just philosophical or abstract. It is a principle that can be demonstrated in everyday life. For instance, if you consistently focus on improving your health, your habits, and your mindset regarding wellness, you will attract the resources, energy, and experiences that support your health goals. On the other hand, if you focus on ailments, fatigue, or the limitations of your body, you reinforce those very experiences. Your focus becomes the lens through which you see your body, and the body responds accordingly. The same applies to any area of life: relationships, career, finances, and personal growth. By learning to master your focus, you learn to master your reality. The challenge lies in redirecting your attention away from what you do not want and toward what you do want. It requires conscious effort and discipline. It means refusing to entertain thoughts that do not serve your highest good, and instead nurturing the thoughts that align with the life you wish to live. This is where the power lies, in your ability to control where you place your focus, moment by moment. A key aspect of this process is not just focusing on the goal, but also focusing on the feeling associated with the goal. When you focus on what you want, it is essential to feel the emotions of already having it. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When you immerse yourself in the feelings of already having the experience you desire, your mind will naturally attract the circumstances that bring that feeling to life. It is not enough to simply think about the end result. You must live as though that result is already a part of your experience. This shift in focus brings about a shift in energy. And this shift is what catalyzes change in your external world. Focus is not about denial or ignoring reality. It is about directing your attention with purpose and intention, regardless of what is happening around you. Life will always present challenges and obstacles, but it is how you choose to focus on those challenges that determines their impact on your life. If you focus on the difficulty of the situation, the challenge grows. If you focus on the opportunities within the situation, you open yourself up to solutions, creativity, and growth. The simple truth is that what you focus on is what you attract. When you become conscious of this fact, you realize that you have the power to change your life by changing what you focus on. It is through this conscious redirection of your attention that you begin to shape the world around you, bringing into your life the people, circumstances, and experiences that align with your desires. The power lies within you, and it begins with your focus. Thoughts act as a magnet, drawing into your life experiences, circumstances, and people that match the frequency of your mental and emotional states. Every thought you have is energy, and this energy vibrates at a certain frequency. The nature of your thoughts, whether positive, negative, or neutral, determines the type of energy you emit. This energy in turn interacts with the world around you, attracting experiences that match. This process is not mystical or abstract, but a natural law, deeply rooted in the way the universe operates. Just like a magnet draws metal, your thoughts attract situations, opportunities, and people that align with the thoughts you continuously entertain. To understand this concept fully, it's important to recognize that the universe doesn't judge the content of your thoughts. It simply responds to the frequency they emit. Whether you focus on love, prosperity, and joy, or on fear, scarcity, and anxiety, the energy you create through your thoughts will draw more of the same into your experience. The mind operates as a powerful magnet, pulling toward it what matches its vibration. 2. If your thoughts are centered on success and abundance, the energy of success and abundance is what you attract. Conversely, if your thoughts revolve around lack, fear, and limitation, those same qualities are drawn to you. This law of attraction operates continuously and unceasingly, whether you are aware of it or not. The key to unlocking this power lies in your awareness of how you are thinking and feeling at any given moment. Thoughts are the starting point, but emotions are the driving force that powers this magnetic attraction. Emotions are the fuel that gives energy to thoughts, turning them from mere ideas into powerful forces of creation. Positive emotions such as gratitude, excitement, love, and peace carry a high vibration that attracts positive circumstances and experiences. Negative emotions such as anger, frustration, fear, and resentment carry a low vibration that tends to attract similarly low-frequency experiences. The magnetic nature of thoughts and emotions explains why people often experience patterns of behavior or recurring challenges in their lives. If you continually focus on what's wrong, on the lack you feel, or on what you fear might happen, you are sending out a magnetic signal that attracts more of the same. For instance, if you focus on financial struggles, even in moments of financial ease, your thoughts continue to vibrate at the frequency of scarcity. This focus pulls into your experience more circumstances that reinforce that sense of lack, such as unexpected expenses, financial setbacks, or even anxiety about money. Similarly, if you fixate on a lack of love or connection, your energy attracts situations where you feel isolated or disconnected from others. One of the most powerful aspects of this process is the subconscious mind's role in shaping the energy you emit. The subconscious is constantly absorbing and recording information from your environment, from your thoughts, and from your past experiences. Many of these subconscious beliefs and mental patterns operate below the level of conscious awareness. They influence the way you think and feel without you even realizing it. If you grew up in an environment where scarcity was prevalent, or if you were taught that success is hard to attain, your subconscious mind may hold these limiting beliefs, making it harder to attract abundance or achievement. These subconscious thoughts become part of your mental landscape, automatically influencing your daily focus and consequently what you attract. The key to shifting the magnetic pull of your thoughts and emotions is to reprogram the subconscious mind. This involves changing your habitual thought patterns, challenging the limiting beliefs that hold you back, and replacing them with thoughts that align with your desired outcomes. The more you consciously focus on positive, empowering thoughts, thoughts of abundance, success, love, and peace, the more your subconscious mind begins to align with these new patterns. This shift creates a new frequency, and as your energy changes, so does the nature of what you attract. The more you focus on possibilities rather than limitations, the more opportunities for growth and success appear in your life. Another important aspect of the magnetic nature of thoughts is that they do not have to be based on reality in order to attract something. The mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. When you focus on something with intensity and emotion, your mind begins to believe that it is true, even if it hasn't manifested yet. This is why visualization techniques are so powerful. When you vividly imagine yourself living the life you desire, whether it's achieving your goals, enjoying vibrant health, or experiencing love and connection, your mind sends out a signal to the universe, and the law of attraction begins to work on your behalf. The energy of your imagination creates a magnetic field that begins to draw to you the resources, people, and opportunities necessary to make that imagined reality come to life. However, the process of attracting what you focus on is not always instantaneous. It often requires patience, persistence, and a deep belief in the process. If your thoughts are consistently focused on positive outcomes, even in the face of temporary setbacks, the universe will continue to respond to the frequency of your thoughts, gradually bringing your desires into manifestation. The law of attraction works through the alignment of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It is not enough to simply think positive thoughts. You must also take inspired action that aligns with the energy you are sending out. When you align your actions with your thoughts and emotions, you create a powerful force of attraction that speeds up the manifestation process. It is important to note that this process does not require perfection. You do not have to always think positive thoughts or feel good all the time in order to attract what you desire. The universe responds to the overall vibration of your thoughts rather than any single fleeting thought. However, the more you focus on cultivating positive thoughts and emotions, the more you create a consistent vibration that aligns with your desires. By making a conscious effort to focus on what you want rather than what you don't want, you change the nature of your attraction field. The more you focus on love, abundance, peace, and joy, the more of these qualities you will draw into your life. The concept of thoughts acting as a magnet is a reminder of the power we each have within us to shape our reality. We are not passive participants in life. We are active creators. Our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are the tools we use to craft the life we experience. If we want to change the conditions of our life, we must begin by changing our thoughts. This shift in focus, from the negative to the positive, from fear to love, from scarcity to abundance, sets in motion a powerful chain of events that draws the circumstances, people, and opportunities necessary for our desired life into our experience. The law of attraction is not a magical force. It is the natural law of energy and vibration. And when we learn to harness it by focusing our thoughts on what we want, rather than on what we fear, we begin to attract the life we've always dreamed of. Our thoughts, beliefs, and focus shape our reality in ways we are often unaware of. While many people are familiar with the idea that what we think influences the world around us, it is the emotional energy we attach to our thoughts that truly drives the attraction process. Emotions act as the fuel to our thoughts, turning them from mere concepts into powerful forces of creation. If thoughts are the seeds, emotions are the water and sunlight that nourish them, causing them to grow and manifest. The energy of your emotions amplifies the power of your thoughts, sending out a signal to the universe that determines what you will attract into your life. The law of attraction works through the law of vibration. Everything in the universe, including you, emits a certain vibrational frequency. This frequency is determined by your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. When you focus on a particular thought, it sends out a vibration into the universe, and this vibration begins to draw experiences that match it. However, the strength of this vibration depends heavily on the emotions that accompany the thought. For example, when you think about something you desire, be it a new job, a loving relationship, or improved health, if you are able to attach positive, high-energy emotions to that thought, you significantly increase the power of that thought. The stronger the emotion, the more intense the vibration. A thought without emotion is weak and has little influence, but when combined with the energy of emotion, that thought becomes a magnet, attracting to you experiences that align with it. It is important to understand that emotions are not just fleeting feelings, they are energy in motion. Every emotion has a specific frequency that resonates with the world around us. Positive emotions such as love, gratitude, joy, and peace are high-frequency emotions, and they attract experiences that resonate at the same frequency. On the other hand, negative emotions such as fear, anger, sadness, and worry carry a lower frequency and attract experiences that reflect those emotions. For instance, if you consistently feel anxious or worried about money, you are emitting an energy that aligns with scarcity. This energy will attract experiences that reinforce your belief in a lack of financial abundance. The more you focus on and feel these negative emotions, the more you attract situations that confirm your worries. Emotions are so powerful because they are not only felt consciously, but also stored in the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind holds your deepest beliefs, fears, and experiences, and it constantly influences your emotional state. If your subconscious mind is programmed with limiting beliefs about yourself or the world, it will often trigger emotional responses that are not in alignment with what you want to manifest. For example, if you believe that you are unworthy of success, you may feel anxious or fearful when opportunities arise. These emotions, rooted in your subconscious beliefs, will send out conflicting vibrations, making it difficult to attract the success you desire. The emotional energy you are emitting is in direct conflict with your conscious desires, which hinders your ability to manifest your goals. This is why it is essential to bring awareness to your emotional state. By becoming conscious of how you are feeling, you can begin to shift your emotional energy and align it with what you want to attract. If you are feeling fearful or anxious, you can shift your focus to something that brings you peace or joy. You can practice gratitude, for example, which is one of the highest vibrational emotions. By focusing on the things you are grateful for, you begin to align your emotional frequency with abundance, which will naturally attract more things to be grateful for. When you feel gratitude, you are signaling to the universe that you are open to receiving more of what you desire. Another way to shift your emotional energy is through visualization. When you vividly imagine yourself living the life you desire, experiencing success, health, love, or happiness, you not only engage your mind in focusing on your goals, but you also engage your emotions. Feel the excitement, joy, and fulfillment as if it is happening right now. The stronger the emotional charge you can generate during your visualization, the more powerful your signal will be. By attaching positive emotions to the thoughts you focus on, you are amplifying their ability to attract the desired outcomes. This emotional energy is not just an internal process, it also sends out ripples into the world around you. Your emotions affect your interactions with others, the opportunities you come across, and the way you perceive events. When you feel joyful and optimistic, you are more likely to engage with others positively, to take inspired actions, and to see opportunities instead of obstacles. On the other hand, when you are feeling down or frustrated, you may withdraw from others, miss opportunities, or only notice the negative aspects of situations. Your emotional state colors everything you experience, which is why it is so important to maintain a positive emotional frequency. The magnetic pull of emotions can also work on a collective level. We live in a world that is interconnected, where the energy of one person can influence the energy of another. Emotions are contagious. If you are consistently positive and radiate high-frequency emotions, you may begin to uplift those around you, creating a ripple effect that attracts more positivity into your environment. On the other hand, when you engage in negative emotions, it can contribute to a collective vibration of fear, scarcity, or conflict. This is why it is essential to take responsibility for your emotional energy, not just for your own benefit, but for the collective good. The more individuals who consciously raise their emotional vibration, the more positive energy is sent out into the world, creating a powerful shift in the collective consciousness. The emotional energy you emit also interacts with your environment, influencing the conditions and circumstances you experience. If you are constantly focused on negative emotions like anger, resentment, or frustration, you will attract situations and people that reflect those emotions. This is why some people seem to be in a perpetual state of conflict or struggle. They are constantly emitting low-frequency energy, which pulls in similar experiences. However, when you focus on positive emotions, your environment begins to shift as well. Opportunities that were once hidden behind a cloud of negativity begin to appear. Relationships improve. New doors open. It's as if the universe begins to conspire in your favor, all because your emotional frequency has aligned with what you desire. One of the most profound ways emotions influence the law of attraction is through the way they affect your decisions and actions. The emotional energy you carry will guide the choices you make and the actions you take. If you are filled with fear, you may hesitate to take action, or you may make choices that reinforce your fears. However, when you are filled with confidence, love, and excitement, you are more likely to take inspired action, which leads you closer to your desired outcomes. Your emotional state determines the energy you bring into every situation, and that energy influences the actions you take, which in turn influences the results you get. In summary, your emotions are a powerful force that amplifies the energy of your thoughts. They are the fuel that drives the law of attraction, sending out vibrations that match the energy of the thoughts you hold. Whether you are aware of it or not, the emotions you feel are attracting experiences, people, and opportunities that resonate with your emotional frequency. By cultivating positive, high-frequency emotions and aligning them with your thoughts and actions, you can begin to consciously attract the experiences you desire. The key is to be aware of your emotional state and to take responsibility for the energy you are putting out into the world. The law of attraction operates not just by thought, but through the dynamic interaction between thought, belief, and emotion. The beliefs we hold about ourselves, the world, and the possibilities available to us act as filters that shape what we focus on. These beliefs, many of which are deeply ingrained in our subconscious mind, are like magnets, pulling toward us what they align with. If we believe in scarcity, for example, our focus will naturally gravitate toward what is missing in our lives, what we don't have. This belief acts as a lens through which we view the world, and everything we see will reinforce that belief. Belief is a powerful force, often determining the success or failure of our efforts to manifest our desires. When we change our beliefs, we change the nature of what we attract, shifting the vibrational frequency that draws in the circumstances, experiences, and people that align with the new belief system. Beliefs are formed from early experiences, cultural conditioning, and the lessons we absorb throughout our lives. If, for example, we were raised in an environment where resources were limited or scarcity was a constant concern, we may adopt the belief that abundance is difficult to achieve. This belief could create a mental and emotional framework that focuses on lack, reinforcing the idea that there is never enough, that success is hard to come by, or that financial freedom is out of reach. These beliefs, however subtle, control our mental focus and emotional responses, and in turn they govern the experiences we attract. The mind does not question these beliefs, it simply accepts them as truth. The subconscious mind is a powerful force, absorbing every experience and allowing those experiences to form patterns of thinking that guide our daily actions and reactions. So when we hold on to limiting beliefs about money, love, health, or success, we unconsciously focus on the lack of those things. And the universe responds by bringing us more of what we are focusing on, more lack. When you begin to recognize the influence of your beliefs, you unlock the power to change the nature of your focus. If you believe that success is for others but not for you, your focus will be drawn to the evidence that supports that belief. You may find yourself hesitating to take opportunities, afraid to invest in yourself or your dreams, because you have been conditioned to believe that failure is inevitable or that the universe is somehow working against you. This negative belief will limit your actions, and consequently, the universe will bring experiences that reflect that limiting belief. For example, you may struggle to find the right opportunities or face repeated failures, all because your focus remains on the belief that success is out of your reach. But if you can shift that belief to one of possibility and abundance, the world around you will begin to reflect that change. New opportunities will appear, you will feel more confident in taking risks, and you will be drawn to situations that align with your belief in your own success. Shifting beliefs is not always an easy task, as beliefs are often deeply ingrained in the subconscious. However, it is possible to change them through consistent effort and conscious intention. The first step is to become aware of the beliefs that are limiting your potential. These are the beliefs that arise when you encounter obstacles or when you find yourself stuck in repetitive patterns that are not serving you. Pay attention to your thoughts and reactions to certain situations. What is the belief underlying these thoughts? For instance, if you feel anxious about money, ask yourself why. Do you believe that money is scarce, that it is hard to come by, or that you are not worthy of financial abundance? Identifying the belief is the first step in shifting it. Once you are aware of the belief, you can begin to replace it with a new empowering belief. Affirmations, visualization, and conscious focus on the desired outcome can help you reprogram your mind to accept the new belief. For example, if you want to shift from a belief in scarcity to one of abundance, you can start repeating affirmations such as, I am worthy of wealth, abundance flows easily into my life, or the universe supports my success. By focusing on these positive beliefs, you begin to shift your energy from lack to abundance. The power belief is not only in the ability to attract what you want, but also in the way beliefs shape your actions. If you believe that you can achieve your goals, you will be more likely to take the necessary steps to make them a reality. On the other hand, if you hold a belief that your goals are out of reach, you will unconsciously hold back, not take the necessary actions, or not even set goals in the first place. The belief in your own worthiness and ability to succeed acts as a catalyst for action. When you focus on empowering beliefs, they energize you, inspire you to take steps toward your goals, and give you the strength to persevere through challenges. For example, if you believe that you are capable of creating a successful business, that belief will drive you to learn what you need to learn, take the necessary risks, and stay persistent even when things get difficult. Beliefs also shape the way you interpret the world around you. When you believe that the world is a friendly place, that opportunities are abundant, and that you deserve to experience joy and success, you begin to see evidence of this in your daily life. This is known as the confirmation bias. The confirmation bias is a psychological phenomenon where we tend to notice and give more weight to information that confirms our existing beliefs, while we overlook or dismiss information that contradicts them. If you believe in abundance, you will start to notice opportunities for wealth that you may have previously ignored. You might find new ways to make money, meet people who can help you achieve your goals, or come across unexpected resources that align with your desires. On the other hand, if you believe that the world is full of obstacles and that success is impossible, you will notice every difficulty, every challenge, and every setback, reinforcing your belief in scarcity and limitation. The power of belief also extends to the way we perceive ourselves. If you believe you are worthy of love, success, and happiness, your focus will shift toward actions, opportunities, and relationships that affirm this self-worth. But if you believe you are not deserving of these things, you will unconsciously repel them. Self-worth and self-belief are foundational to attracting positive experiences. The law of attraction operates through the lens of self-perception. So if you hold the belief that you are unworthy of abundance or success, you will attract experiences that affirm that belief, even if you consciously desire something different. Shifting these self-limiting beliefs requires a deep commitment to personal growth, and a willingness to confront and challenge the negative beliefs that have been formed over a lifetime. Belief is the bridge between thought and reality. What you believe about yourself, the world, and the future shapes everything you attract into your life. By changing your beliefs, you can shift the focus of your thoughts and emotions, ultimately altering the vibration you emit and transforming the nature of what you attract. The more you align your beliefs with your desires, the more you open yourself up to the opportunities and experiences that will help you manifest them. In this way, belief is the foundation upon which the law of attraction operates, making it one of the most powerful forces in shaping your reality. The beliefs you hold will dictate the life you create, so it is essential to identify and release those that limit you and replace them with ones that align with the life you want to attract. The universe operates through a set of natural laws, and the law of attraction is one of the most powerful among them. It is a law that states that like attracts like. Your thoughts, emotions, and energies act as magnets that pull to you what aligns with them. What you focus on consistently will expand, and this is why it is so crucial to be mindful of where your focus lies. The things that you focus on shape your reality and influence everything around you. However, what often goes unnoticed is the fact that focus is not just about conscious thinking, it's about energy, both conscious and subconscious, that determines what you bring into your life. Your emotional state, your belief systems, your subconscious mind, and your habitual thoughts all contribute to the vibrational frequency you emit and in turn to what you attract. In order to attract positive outcomes, it's not enough to simply focus on what you want. It's important to focus on it with an energy that aligns with its reality. For example, if you desire wealth, but your focus is grounded in fear or lack, the universe will respond to that energy rather than the energy of abundance. If your thoughts are filled with worry about money, even though you want prosperity, you are inadvertently focusing on the lack of money. The universe, responding to your energy, will continue to bring more experiences of lack into your life. The same goes for relationships, health, career, or any other desire. It's not just about what you say you want, it's about how you truly feel about what you want, and how your emotions and thoughts align with it. To manifest what you desire, you must learn to focus on it with certainty and belief that it is already yours. Your inner state must match the external reality you wish to create. This is where many people fall short. They focus on what they want, but do so with doubt, hesitation, and fear. Their emotions are inconsistent with their desires, creating a vibration that repels the very things they hope to attract. When you focus on something with true belief, as if it already exists, you align yourself with the vibration of that desire, creating the right conditions for it to manifest. When we focus on something with intention, we are sending a signal to the universe, and that signal is received in the form of energy. The focus must be consistent and unwavering. If you desire a loving relationship, but your focus is often on past heartbreaks or fears of loneliness, you will continue to attract experiences that reinforce those fears. This is because on an energetic level, you are resonating more with the experience of heartbreak or loneliness than with love and connection. The law of attraction doesn't discriminate, it simply responds to the energy you put out into the world. If you focus on negativity, worry, or fear, that energy will attract more negativity, worry, and fear into your life. However, when you shift your focus to what you truly desire and align your emotional energy with that desire, you begin to shift the frequency you are emitting, which in turn shifts the nature of what you attract. It's also important to recognize that focus is not merely about thinking positive thoughts or visualizing your desires. It's about cultivating a mindset that is aligned with your goals and ensuring that your emotional state matches that mindset. If you are visualizing success but feeling unworthy, your energy is out of alignment. To align your energy, you must also focus on how you feel. It's not just about thinking about success, it's about feeling successful, deserving, and worthy of. When you focus on something with the belief that you already have it, you are matching the frequency of your desire. This is when the magic of manifestation occurs. You are no longer sending out mixed signals to the universe, and your focus becomes a powerful magnet that pulls to you what you desire. Furthermore, the law of attraction is not a passive force. It requires action. Focus alone is not enough to bring your desires into reality. You must also be ready to act upon the inspiration and opportunities that present themselves. When you are focused on your goal, with true belief and emotional alignment, the universe will begin to guide you toward the people, places, and circumstances that will help you manifest your desires. These may come in the form of new ideas, synchronicities, or intuitive nudges that inspire you to take action. When you receive these messages from the universe, it is crucial to act on them. This is where many people get stuck. They may focus and visualize all they want, but they don't take the inspired steps that the universe is guiding them toward. Without action, manifestation cannot fully take place. The key to effective focus is recognizing that it's not just about focusing on the end goal, but also about focusing on the present moment. This is often a key point of confusion for many people. They think that focus only pertains to the future, to the thing they desire. But the reality is that the most powerful focus is in the present. You must focus on the feelings of having your desire right now, in this moment. This is why gratitude is such an important part of the manifestation process. When you are grateful for the present moment and everything in it, you are in alignment with abundance. Gratitude elevates your emotional frequency, sending a signal to the universe that you are open to receiving more of what you appreciate. By focusing on the present, you are telling the universe that you are ready to receive what you desire right now. Focus is also about managing your inner dialogue and thoughts. Thoughts are powerful, but they are not always in alignment with our desires. In the world of the law of attraction, we are often encouraged to shift our focus from negative or limiting thoughts to positive ones. This shift in thought is essential because every thought carries with it a vibrational frequency that is either attracting or repelling experiences. When you focus on empowering thoughts, your energy begins to shift. For example, if you are trying to attract a new job and all you think about is how hard it will be or how unqualified you feel, your focus is misaligned. However, if you shift your focus to thoughts of confidence, ability, and success, you will start to align with those outcomes. This is why it is so important to become mindful of your thoughts and to reframe them when they go in a direction that does not serve your desires. Lastly, one of the most powerful aspects of focus is the ability to persist. It's not about focusing once or twice and expecting immediate results. It's about maintaining your focus, even when external circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. This requires faith and trust in the process of manifestation. The universe works in mysterious ways, and while it may take time for your desires to materialize, it's important to continue focusing on them with unwavering belief and persistence. Even when things appear to be going wrong, remember that the universe is always working in your favor, and your focus on your desires will eventually bring them into your reality. Focus is the most powerful tool you have in shaping your reality. It is the key to aligning with your desires and manifesting them into your life. Whether you are focusing on wealth, love, health, or success, the more focused you are on what you want, the more the universe will deliver it to you. Focus with intention. Focus with belief and focus with unwavering trust in the process, and the universe will respond.